presento il nuovo allenatore.
Hello and welcome back to the first episode in our career mode series where we're going to be taking over Fabio Grosso, taking over FC Sudtirol, the Italian and German speaking town in the north of Italy, trying to first of all get them promoted back to Serie A, and then second of all taking over a national team and trying to win a World Cup. For those of you who don't know, Fabio Grosso scored the winning penalty in the 2006 World Cup, where Italy managed to beat France in the final. So we're going to be trying to win it as a manager, just like we did as a player. In the background, you can see some highlights of our pre-season goals. There's a few nice ones we scored. We learned a lot about the team, and in particular, we learned a couple of positions we definitely need to strengthen. One we didn't strengthen, we probably should have done, was centre-back, where we actually have a 38-year-old starting. But one position we did strengthen here is goalkeeper. Mantel came in from Salzburg for a couple of £100,000. At 22 years old and 6'4", this guy could easily be a goalkeeper not only in Serie B, but if he hits his potential, also comfortably in Serie A. So this guy is a very much a long-term purchase, and hopefully you'll see him make some absolute top saves, not only throughout this video, but throughout the whole season. Sudtirol were actually at home for their first game of the season. You could see the streets of Bolzano absolutely raring for this game. Some strong tackles going in the pre-match hype footage from the last time Venice and Bolzano played each other. Managers going wild, fans going wild, and a few of our better players just there, Caretta and Tate. Two names I'll be mentioning a lot throughout this series. But anyway, let's get started. Playing against Venice, who are one of the biggest favourites to win the league. Not only do they have the best squad, but they also have the coolest stadium and some of the best well-known players. But it only took 6 minutes for Crocata to overlap our striker. Playing midfield, Crocata is doing exactly what we told him to. We want them to get forward, we want them to be finishing off chances, and what a finish it was. 10 minutes in, or 5 minutes later, De Vries and Busio had a couple of chances before it rebounded out to De Vries. Volleys it straight in at the near post. I mean, if Mantel's goalkeeping like that, he might not last long, because you shouldn't be getting beaten at your near post quite that easily. With the lack of skill in the Sudtirol side compared to Venice, we had to show a more determined side of the game. With some aggressive tackles going in, we knew we were there not only to make up the numbers, but we were there to win. De Col helped this out by controlling a nice ball. Caretta then controlled it in the 6-yard box and managed to pass it into an empty net. What a cross, what a finish, and our right side was on fire. Caretta, by far the best attacker we have. He's got a ton of pace, he's a really good winger, and he can shoot with both feet. So you're going to hear his name throughout this next season. One player's name you've been hearing throughout this video though is De Vries, and he scored a second goal against us. 2-2 after just 24 minutes. This one was a bit of a classic. But Caretta, that man, got the ball out on the wing. This time hitting it with his left boot. What a finish, a looping power shot over the goalkeeper. And suddenly, just before half time, Venice were sinking without a trace. It was 3-2 to Sudtirol, the Northerners, in what is probably considered a bit of a derby game. With some substitutes coming on after about 68 minutes, Venice would have another attack. Busio in midfield would pass it out to Zampano. Zampano would run into the space before pulling it back. This time, Pojampolo forced another really good save that time from Mantel. Kept us in it, kept us ahead, and it was Kaziriagi, the next guy, to have a chance. The substitute came on, ran straight through the gap. He doesn't have as much pace as Caretta, but what a finish it was nonetheless. The crowd were going wild. It looked like their first game back in Serie A was going to be a win, and it absolutely was confirmed a 4-2 win. What a result for FC Sudtirol, and what a disaster for Venezia, who are now going to be bottom of the league despite being potential champions. We strengthened our side by signing Hugo Novoa and Christian Volpetto, an attacking midfielder and a striker. We didn't have too much pace, agility or skill on the ball, so these were going to be two crucial young players that were going to define the way we play. Next up was a home game again, this time against Genoa, and Caretta was rightfully nominated as the man to watch. Tate in midfield is one of our best midfielders. You can see why with passing like that to our best defender, De Col. Caretta proved he's not only a goal scorer, but this time a creator. And Novoa probably should have scored a goal just 10 minutes in on his debut. He wouldn't wait long for another chance, this time a really good turn followed by a long shot that was unfortunately deflected over for a corner. Next up to attack was Genoa, and they passed it like Sudtirol can't. Aramu didn't get closed down and he picked his spot. What a finish that is from 25 metres out. We weren't going to give up that easily though. We would continue playing our long ball tactics when we're playing against a stronger team. Capone would get on the ball and it looked like he just dribbled it off the pitch, but the referee called it back. It was actually given as a penalty and Coretta would have a chance to get a third goal of the season. You can see he's got 49 penalties on the heads up display right there, but he still sent the goalkeeper the wrong way and made it 1-1 to Sudtirol. This guy was looking like he could become a bit of a Serie B legend for the team. 10 minutes later, it was time for another Sudtirol attack. This time Crocchiata wasn't overlapping, he was playing deep, and it wasn't Coretta on the end of the through ball, instead he was the provider. The call really should have either chipped the goalkeeper or made sure he scored, and it was time for some of Sudtirol's defensive vulnerabilities to be emphasised here. A passing move like this is never going to be good news for a defence that's unagile, just like Sudtirol's was, and it was lethally finished there by Yeboah. 2-1 down, and Sudtirol probably could say this was a harsh result if it finished this way. Mazzocchi had a chance to equalise, and absolutely he did. What a finish that was. He came on as a sub for Novoa, and he's absolutely shown him how to finish. The veteran striker doing much better than the young man on his debut, who would have guessed. With 81 minutes passed, this time it was Genoa's attack, and that was a really poor effort at goalkeeping. It just went straight through him, and that's unfortunately how the game would end. Genoa would be the only team to have some last attacks. The one that Sudtirol created, they took too long to release the ball, and it was just going to end 3-2. An unfortunate defeat against one of the better teams in the league. They were really going to have to try and make it up with their first away game, a game against Benevento, who again are one of the playoff contenders. What a tough start this was for Sudtirol, but they should be happy that they've even got 3 points given they have the second worst squad on paper in the entire league. What a team like Sudtirol is really missing is a striker like La Gomina, the guy who starts up front for Benevento. You'll see what I mean with finishes like that. This guy is one of the most lethal finishers outside of the Serie A. What a good finish that was, straight in the corner. There was really no chance Mantle had on that occasion. He was again influential here with Ciano passing it straight across to him and another top finish. 2-0 down after 16 minutes. A really poor start for Sudtirol. They weren't just going to lie down and accept the defeat though. Winning their captain Masiello, winning a header in midfield like that was always going to be crucial before Sega got some space. What a shot that was, and what a save that was from Manfredini. A corner in a few minutes later, and I can't really describe what happens here. There's about 10 different deflections before eventually our midfielder manages to just about find it in the net. It was going to be 2-1 and probably more fair of a result than 2-0 was. The next action wouldn't really happen until after half time, where we passed it out wide towards the edge of the box. We pulled it back, and what a shot that was. It really should have curled in, but unfortunately it found the wrong part of the post. Wasn't posting in, post and out, unfortunately for us. Benevento would continue to give up some chances. First of all here, Coretta found Decol. Decol found the post again. This time it went underneath the goalkeeper and just off the wrong side of the post. Next up was Volpato crossing the ball just behind our striker before winning it back on the edge of the box. He's got good dribbling stats, good passing stats, and this combination play here probably again should have resulted in a goal, but somehow Sudtirol weren't level. They'd have one last chance right at the end of the game, but a poor pass would see the ball fall to Benevento. Volpato would win the ball back, Crocetta would try one last long shot, this time easily saved yet again. It would go out for a corner, but nothing would come for it, and it would end in that result. Sudtirol were firmly mid-table. They were just 2 points off the playoffs with 3 games played, which is a fair enough result. You can see Cagliari and Palermo both going unbeaten from their first couple of games, but the real surprise was Venezia, who not only lost their first game against Sudtirol, but their next 2 as well, so were bottom of the league on 0 points. The youth academy is really important to Fabio Grosso and how he wants to play, so promoting Gallo and Kaufmann to the first team provided him with yet another German speaker and yet another Italian national for his team. This game against Parma is going to be in the next episode, so if you don't want to miss that one, please do subscribe and like the video. Thank you all for watching this far. I'll see you soon for another video. Thank you and goodbye.